Okay, hello. I'm gonna make this video because I got a bit of a comment that I was reading through on YouTube, and this is not anything against me. I did a video a while back about engineering and why people drop out and how hard it is and whatnot. And I got one comment that said that this person wasted 3 years in engineering school, and he is now joining the military, and he's not able to finish. And then he has some other argument with some other people where he's saying that, like, why does engineers have to learn all these things when they don't need to use it? And it seems like there's a lot of anger, a lot of sadness, a lot of confusion, a lot of uncertainty for the future. And all these feelings are extremely normal because I went through these exact same situation where I I dropped out of engineering um, in 2015, 2016, and I was extremely angry at the world, and I just didn't know what to do, and I had nobody to talk to me about that. I'm trying to reach out to this person to try to contact them, but YouTube seemed to be blocking all my comments to this person, and I'm not able to even talk to him, or even like reply to any of his comments. So I don't know what's going on with YouTube. It's just like I'll send a comment for him, and it just gets deleted right away. Um, so I don't know what's going on with YouTube. Um, so so I thought I would make this video. If he ever find my channel, maybe he can watch it. Maybe if someone else going through this problem, they can also watch it. I'll tell you a little bit about myself, my story. So I went to Pennsylvania State University. A lot of you might know it as Penn State University. It is a very competitive engineering school. It's like top 30 engineering school. I think it's ranked 25. And it was like ranked 6 when I was going through for plastic and material and also industrial engineering. It's very, very up there for engineering. And I did waste it like 3, 4 years doing it. I fail a lot of classes. I keep repeating it, and I found it was very difficult. The classes are made to fail you out, and I just couldn't do it. And I definitely at that time I didn't have the discipline I needed to finish it, and like so I did drop out. And at that time I was feeling all sort of emotion. I was very angry at the university. I felt like I was being just treated as a number. I'm not being treated like a person. I was angry at the engineering system. I was angry at all my professors for failing me. I was very confused on what to do because being an engineer was like my goal, my dream for in my entire life, my entire childhood. So I didn't know what to do, and I decided to join the Air Force. And I was very scared of joining the Air Force because I was supposed to be this high earning 6 figure salary guy who's going around the world, like building awesome rockets and stuff. And now like I'm just doing like minimum wage, being the bottom of the barrel in the Air Force. And I knew that's what's gonna happen to me, and I was just very afraid of what's gonna happen. And so I decided to make this video to kind of explain what kind of happened, and how I came out of it. And now I'm actually right now I'm a mechanical engineer for the United States government. I work on patents, so like inventions and stuff. I'll look through it, and I would kind of approve their inventions, or disapprove it. So my journey has been a long journey, and it's been one of struggle. And so I maybe this video will help you if you're in my boat, if you're going through the same thing. And I would just like you to know, if you're going through this and you're dropping out of engineering, you're not the only one, right? Engineering has a very high dropout rate. It has the majority of people who go into engineering drop out, so more than 50%. It's actually around 70% dropout rate depending on the school. It's 60 to 70%. Um, and the problem with that is not people don't are not known about it. People see their classmate and they think, oh, they're doing well, so they think of themselves as failure, and when they drop out, their family, their friends, people who are not in engineering just kind of don't understand how hard engineering is, and they kind of look down on you for dropping out of engineering. They just don't understand. And they might have a history degree or something easier, so they don't understand the struggle it is in engineering. And they just look down on you, and you feel, and that you can feel that in their voice, and it makes you feel worse about yourself. And I just here to tell you that don't feel bad about yourself, because engineering is extremely difficult. I joined the Air Force, and a lot of people do join the military, and a lot of people who do join the military feels a certain way when they fail out of the Air Force. So they'll feel a certain way when they're going through the military. So like when I was going through the military, I come to a realization that a lot of people, a lot of my friends in college, they don't have to suffer like I have to do in the military. Being in the military is difficult. In the first few years in the military, you are treated so poorly that you look back at these kind of people that you were friends with in the college, and you just kind of feel more anger toward them, because you're just like, man, these people would rather live in their mom basement, than ever be in the military, have to ever suffer, ever have to deal with toxicity in the military. um and and it's just one of those things where you have all these emotion. But I don't regret my time in the military. I have gained a lot of things in the military, and I use the military to propel me forward. It allows me to gain work experience. It allows me to get get the discipline I truly was lacking at that time, right? It allows me to mature a little bit more, and the biggest thing is it shows me what it's like to not have an education, what kind of job you get, and how bad people treat you for not having that kind of like, and that education, because you had this kind of idea that you were on top of the world being an engineer, and now you're just like you're in a low skill labor, and you're just being crap on all the time. And you see people who went to ROTC and got like an easy business degree or a history degree, and now they're your superior. They're like they're an officer, and now they're like they outrank you by so much. They have their own office, and now you're scrubbing the toilet, even though your job is not to scrub the toilet. My job was a vehicle maintenance, so I fix cars. But then like I still have to scrub the toilets and clean the pick weeds in 100 degrees weather, and being crap on all the time, and being yelled at for being 2 minutes late, right? And it's one of those things where it really, really kind of shows me that go and finish this education, so you don't need to suffer anymore. And that's what actually did propel me towards it. And also being in the military, it also gave me the GI Bill, because I was running out of money when I was in school. I was getting money from my family, and I was just using their money. And it feels like, I'm just draining their money, and I'm just such a failure for just wasting their money, wasting whoever money it is. And at the end, I lost all my scholarship, I lost all my grants, because I just couldn't get the grades. And you just feel like complete failure. But the problem with that kind of mentality is, it's not really true, right? Engineering is just the exception of all the major. It's just the hardest major, and it's just hard to overcome it. And no one understand. So what I really want to kind of put forward is the military is definitely a good position. I know a lot of people join the military, and they're very afraid of what it is. But I used the military to really propel me into my degree. I finished engineering. I used to have this kind of mentality where I hate why I need to learn thermodynamics and chemistry and biology and all these different courses that I think I would never use. But it's because I was angry that I was failing out of engineering, and it's not the right mentality, right? It also show that maybe you're not as mature as you need to be, and going to the military might help with that, and it might help you understand. And you need to also understand that like the reason engineering is so hard is so it's to keep people who are not as hardworking into engineering, because these guys are going to build bridges, and they're going to build buildings, and if they take shortcuts and they don't know what they're doing, and they're not hard workers, and they don't check over their formulas and their building plans, then if these bridges and these buildings collapse, people die. People will die. So so that's kind of why you're forced to learn all these different things that you might not ever have to learn, like quantum physics, like in engineering. That's just such an advanced level of physics that you'll never use in engineering. And I know I don't use quantum physics in my engineering work. I barely even use like the upper level calculus courses. Like maybe Calc 3, I never used it, multi-variable calculus. And the reason that they want you to learn that is so that you can prove that you're a hard worker, that you're very good at learning. Because in engineering work, you have to learn on the fly. People are not going to teach you on the spot. They're going to give you very small amount of information, and you're going to have to learn it yourself. And I know this video is getting longer, but I'll give you some tips if you do decide to go to the military. Because you could switch your major and go to something else. I'm not gonna talk about that because I didn't do that, and I think that's kind of more of a you giving up. And if you want to go do something else, that's fine. That's up to you, right? And then you probably will succeed because you already know how to study in engineering. So everything else probably seem easy to you. But if you are going to go into the military, I'll give you some advice, right? While you're in the military, you can use this thing called tuition assistant, TA, right? It doesn't cut into your GI Bill. It's completely separate from your GI Bill. For your TA, what you do is as you work in the military, you are given per semester, per year, a certain amount of money that you get to just go to college while you work. So you'll just do one or two classes at a time, and you can finish your engineering degree that way, right? A lot of things that you have in your college that you dropped out, you can transfer it to any school that you want, especially if it's lower ranking, like a community college. And I recommend you go into a community college because it doesn't matter where you go. It's at least if you get that degree, you can get a job, right? If you go into this like big name engineering, like yeah, is it easier for you to get a job? Maybe, right? Maybe, but if you don't finish, you don't get a job. No one cares. You have the same education level as a high school student, right? So or a high school graduate. It doesn't matter. Go to a community college, do your 2 years, get an associate degree in your engineering, whatever, or physics, or whatever, and then you use that to go into a bigger name school. But don't go into like the higher the ranking of school, the harder it is, especially in the on the exam. You will learn the exact same thing. Calculus 1 is calculus 1 no matter where you go, right? But calculus 1 at Penn State University or MIT or any place that you might go, that's a big name like Colorado State, they're going to try to weed you out. Like the exam is made to fail you. If you go to a smaller school, like what I did was a community college for my first 2 years to get my associate degree, the exam are made to test you. They're not made to fail you. So that's just one of those things where you need to learn to give up on the school name. It doesn't mean anything, and no one cares. Seriously, no one cares, especially after you get your first job. No one cares at all, right? I trust me. I went to Liberty University. It's a Christian school in Virginia. It's not a bad school. It's a really good school with a good PhD program. But I before that I went to graduate from a community college with my associate degree in physics. And that kind of helped me get in because I get to reset my GPA when I go to a new school. I also I also got into Johns Hopkins after I got my bachelor. I went for a semester, but then it was just a lot of money, and I know that I really didn't need that degree to work the position that I'm working right now, and I like it. So I didn't really continue with Johns Hopkins. But like you need to also understand that your employers, they don't care about where you go if it's your lower degree. They only look at your highest degree that you have. So if you have a master's degree from Johns Hopkins or from MIT, they don't care where you got your bachelor degree from. They absolutely do not give a flying crap on where you got your degree from. They only look at that, and they only care about your university name for your first job. Once you get some experience, at least a year of experience from some other school, or from your work, they don't even care about your degree. They don't care about your GPA, right? And school, to get into like elite school, they don't care about your school name. They only care about your GPA, and they also care about your GRE score. So it doesn't matter, right? So you need to just put to bed whatever you think is the school name and it's all these elite crap. You need to just let that go, right? And that's something that I had to learn, because I was walking around like, hey, I went to Penn State University. It's ranked 25 in the country for engineering, and I went to this person, like, I went to Penn State, and they just look at me like they don't even care. And you go to school, they don't even care. You go to work, they don't even care, right? They don't care. Only you care. That's your ego that you're putting in, that you build up around yourself. People don't care. There's 5,000 different school in this. No one's gonna care. No one's gonna go look up US news to go compare ranking. No one does that, right? so so go to an easier school. Use your TA when you're in military. Take one class at a time. Do CLEP, which is like a college level examination that you don't need to take a class. There's CLEP book in the military library. All military library, active duty base has it. Um, Study it. It doesn't need to take long. 2 weeks of studying. Read from cover to cover. Do a bunch of practice exam. And then when you go, if you can get a 50%, you can pass. Do that to clip out of some of the CLAP courses, so you don't have to do it. You can also, when you're in the Air Force, for me, I got my associate degree in vehicle maintenance, so I got another degree. That's, it does help with your resume, because, oh, look, this guy went to all these different places, and it does help you mentally that, oh yeah, I have an accomplishment now. I failed out of college, but now I have a degree, right? So aim for your CCAF, which is your Community College of the Air Force associate degree. So that's kind of, then once you come out, use your GI Bill, right? Don't do Montgomery GI Bill. Do post 9/11 GI Bill. Montgomery GI Bill is crap, right? You go to basic training, they're gonna have you pay like extra $200 per month for it for a year. Don't do it. Just say, I'll only want post 9/11 GI Bill, because post 9/11 is just so much better. This is already 17 minutes long. There's just so much to talk about. But look, if you guys want to talk more about this, I know if you're going through these type of situation where you're failing out of engineering, no one understands you, you're feeling all these emotions and you don't know how to feel, and you're blaming your college, your professor, everything. I've been through that. And I've been through that in a way that I know that there's nobody to talk to, because either your friends are still in engineering and they're finishing it, your friends are not in engineering and they don't understand what you're going through, right? Or your family has never been in engineering and they're just looking down on you, right? They just don't understand why you can't do it. So I'm here to talk. Leave a comment below, and maybe we can set up some a meeting, and we can kind of talk about your options and I can kind of maybe talk about my experience, and you can talk about your feelings, because I've been in your shoes, and I'm probably the only person you'll ever find that understand you. Even though there's plenty of people that understand you, you're not gonna be able to find them, just like I wasn't able to find them, right? But I'm here, right? At least, like, because I'll do for you what no one else did for me when I was going through that. I'll be there, right? So just comment below, and maybe we can set up a short phone call and we can kind of talk a little bit, because I understand when I was going through it, I was like, it felt really like I felt like complete failure, and it would not be surprising if someone takes their life over something like this, because it was a really difficult time for me, for sure. All right. Well, I'm gonna leave it there. Right. Be sure to leave a comment. I left off a lot of things that I wish I could talk, but it's already been almost 20 minutes on this video. But be sure to leave a comment, and we could kind of have a long conversation about this. All right. Bye.